I'm Mike Nelson, and I'm here to introduce you to the Husqvarna 701 Supermoto. So with the recent rise in the popularity of the dual sport motorcycle segment, you're seeing more and more supermoto style motorcycles on the streets today. The Motorcycle Industry Council published their 2015 motorcycle sales numbers, and it shows that dual sports now make up 15% of the total motorcycle sales here in America. So what I'm here today to do is I'm going to explain to you what a supermoto is, some of the advantages of supermotos, and basically I'm going to give you a brief overview of the 701. Alright, so first off, what is a supermoto? Okay, supermoto is basically a off-road dirt bike, and you outfit it with a more street-friendly, lower, stiffer suspension. It gets oversized brakes and rotors like that found on sport bikes, and you change the tires out to a more sport bike or racing slick compound. Now the bikes were originally designed to compete in the Supermoto Race Series, which combined the three disciplines of dirt flat track, motocross, and asphalt road racing. And basically the gist of things is you take a dirt bike, you upgrade it with some street parts, and you get yourself a supermoto. Right? According to supermotards.com, which is a premier supermoto riding group here in America, on their website, this is some of the advantages they list for this type of motorcycle. Right, the first is they're lightweight and they're highly maneuverable, which makes them great for beginners. I started out on one. They're a small investment for such a multi-purpose motorcycle. Initial bikes, or the entry-level bikes you can get, cost about $5,000 to $7,000. Spend about another $500 and get yourself a set of dirt tires, and you have a bike that is able to ride any type of terrain. They're cheap on fuel and low on insurance rates. I currently ride a 2014 Suzuki DRZ 400 SM. It's a supermoto, and my insurance rate for the entire year was only $235. They have a confidence-inspiring riding position. It's called the tack position. Right, the rider is forward on the seat, up close to the steering head. You sit straight up. Your arms are up like this. If you need to maneuver the motorcycle, you just press down. You really don't have to change your body position whatsoever. If you compare that to like a Harley or sport bike, on the Harley you're laid back, and on a sport bike you're crunched down. You have to change your body position to really get that thing to move around. They're relatively cheap to repair and maintain. They are modeled after dirt bikes. So I laid my supermoto down in the dirt. It cost me like $40 to fix it. My buddy has his sport bike, laid it down on a dirt road, cost him $2,000. They also tend to have relatively long service intervals. The Husqvarna is 6,000 miles before it needs to get a factory check. And lastly, their fun meter on these things is pegged all the time. They are such a blast to ride. So with that, a lot of manufacturers are starting to put factory-styled supermotos out there on the market. An example is the Yamaha WR250 or the Honda CRF 250. These are both entry-level motorcycles. You also have the Suzuki DRZ, which is what I ride right now, and KTM makes a 690 SMC for Europe. They no longer sell them over here. But what I'm here to talk to you about today is this masterpiece right here, the Husqvarna 701 Supermoto. Such a great bike. I took these specs directly off of HusqvarnaMotorcycles.com. It's the official site. Basically, this is a fuel-injected 4-stroke single-cylinder motorcycle. It has electric start. It's got a 6-speed transmission, which is great for the highways. It's got a super stiff trellis frame, and it's got about a 3.4-gallon tank, which is about midway on it. All right, some of the highlights is getting a new engine this year for 2017. This is coming out of the KTM Duke 690, which is a normal street motorcycle. It's got a single overhead cam liquid cooled single cylinder motor, 74 horsepower, 8,000 RPM. This is up from 67 horsepower for last year, and it's got a new balance shaft in it. So one of the big problems with single cylinder bikes is that at the higher RPMs, they tend to have a lot of vibration, right? Like my 400 DRZ feels like it's going to explode at 80 miles an hour. It's supposed to help that. All right, they have an ABS brake system like that found on street bikes. It's a Bosch 9M 2-channel front and rear that's always active. You can go to the dealer and get an optional dongle that will allow you to turn off the rear but keep the front active, right? So you can get those cool Supermoto slides into the corner that everybody loves. It's got ride-by-wire throttle system. So like on my DRZ, there's a cable that runs from the throttle down to the carburetor. So there's a delay every time you pull, you wind back on it. This takes care of that, right? It's going to be instant. They've also upgraded from a 44 to a 50 millimeter throttle body this year, and it features dual spark plugs to help with the efficiency. So one of the first things that I noticed about this bike when I saw it is the fuel tank is actually located in the rear. It makes up the complete rear subframe. So traditional bikes, the fuel tank is in front and above the motor. So Husqvarna says this dramatically increases the overall balance and feel of the motorcycle. And because it's a Supermoto, it's got a true slipper clutch. Now, what this means is it's going to allow you to come smoking into a turn. You got your brake jammed down, you're kicking the back end out, you jack down like 2 or 3 gears. All right, when you let off that clutch, you're not going to have to worry about the back end coming out from under you because of the wheel bouncing or chattering. All right. So this bike has pretty much taken the market by storm. It's got a super smooth 74 horsepower motor. It's got a lot of advanced tech on it that you're going to only find on more expensive street bikes, and the thing looks awesome if you ask me, right? So you cannot ask for a better factory street legal Supermoto. Sean McDonald, who is a writer for Lane Splitter magazine, when he did his review of the Husqvarna, he told his readers to sell whatever you got and go buy the Husqvarna 701. So that's what I did. I took my Suzuki down, put my down payment on my 2017, and I can't wait for it to get here. All right, you guys should get you one of these. Thanks.